Good afternoon and welcome to the Surrey Sports Park. We have top of the table action this afternoon between the Sevenoaks Suns and the Barking Abbey London Lions. Apologies for the slight delay in the stream. We are still awaiting the second referee to arrive, which should be happening any minute now. So we should be underway in about 4 or 5 minutes time here from Surrey Sports Park. Obviously both these teams are the two remaining unbeaten teams in WBBL Championship action this year. Both teams have suffered the one loss. Barking Abbey London Lions' only loss of the season was to the Sevenoaks Suns in November, a 60-70 loss in the WBBL Cup group stage, and then the Sevenoaks Suns losing the WBBL Cup final to the Leicester Riders after their return from a COVID break in early February. Both teams are at full strength this afternoon, so Chantel Charles is back into the lineup for the Barking Abbey London Lions, and as you can see on your screen, Coach Len Busch has returned. Managed to actually briefly catch up with him before the game. He's still not feeling 100%, but feels like he's well enough to coach this afternoon, so we'll be back on the sidelines for his team. Obviously, these two sides, as I mentioned a minute ago, did meet in the WBBL Cup group stage, where Sevenoaks came out with a 10-point win on the road. But the story of that game really was the first quarter, so Sevenoaks 28, Barking London Lions 12. And then the London Lions did win the remaining 3 quarters, but it wasn't enough to close the gap. Top scorers on the afternoon were Shanice Beckford-Norton for the Lions with 19 points, Kennedy Leonard with 13. And as for the Suns' balanced attack, Janice Monacana leading away with 19 points personal, and Kat Carr and Renee Bush both with 15 apiece. Both teams coming into this weekend with wins. Both coming into this midweek game with wins at the weekend. The Barking Abbey London Lions beat the Oakland Wolves 86-66 on Sunday at Barking Abbey. Shanice Beckford-Norton again leading the team in scoring with 24 points personal. As for Sevenoaks, they went on the road to Durham and pulled out a 79-59 victory. Renee Bush leading the way with 21 points, and she's continuing her fine start to season from downtown. She was 7 of 10 from the 3-point line against Durham on Saturday. While we fill some time, feel free to put some comments or predictions into the chat and we will get to them. We are still just awaiting the second referee to arrive here at the Surrey Sports Park, so as soon as he does and he is ready to go, we'll roll down from 3 minutes to tip. So hopefully 4 or 5 minutes time we will be with you, but in the meantime feel free to use those comments and we'll try and address any questions or predictions that you have. Obviously Barking Abbey London Lions have got one eye on today's game and another on Sunday's final. They will play the Nottingham Wildcats live on Sky Sports 3 o'clock from the University of Worcester Arena in the WBBL Trophy final. Sevenoaks Suns, you can catch us here again on Saturday, where the visitors will be the Newcastle Eagles, before the Suns have a home game at the University of Essex, where they'll take on the Essex Blades. Good news for everyone, the referee has just arrived, so we will be tipping in 3 minutes, and both teams going through their final preparations now. They have the start time. Obviously one of 3 WBBL games today. Later on this afternoon from Manchester, you have the Manchester Met Mystics against the Oakland Wolves at 5 o'clock. And then the late game tonight, the Cardiff Met Archers and the Essex Rebels. That is a 6:30 tip. So a lot of Wednesday afternoon and night basketball for you. We also should give a mention to Carly Samuelson as her Avienda side head over to the EuroLeague quarterfinals first leg. Believe that game is on the FIBA YouTube from 7 o'clock. So any GB fans be able to keep an eye on the Cardiff Essex game, as well as support Carly in her quest to try and make the EuroLeague Final Fours. Starting lineups for this afternoon's games. So this afternoon's game will be for the Sevenoaks Suns, number 1, Lavinia De Silva, 8, Renee Bush, 10, Tiani Clark, 22, Kat Carr, and 31, Ines Garrido Perez. As for the Barking Abbey London Lions, wearing 3 will be Shanice Beckford-Norton, 10 Cassie Breen, 13 Chantel Charles, 14 Kennedy Leonard, and 22 Paige Robinson. So Mark Clark able to field his full strength starting 5, and the Suns making just that one change from the weekend, with Ines Garrido Perez replacing Kat Holm in the starting lineup, and Janice Monacana will continue in that first off the bench role for the Suns, which he has done so effectively this season. Both teams now are heading over to the bench as we've got 1 minute till tip. As you can see, Mark Clark just going through his final preparations. And Len Busch back on the sidelines once again. So Suns relatively full strength. Doesn't look like Millie Stevens has made it. She is on the team list, so was slightly wondering if she's going to be late, but doesn't look like Millie Stevens is here, so that will be the one person missing, and it will be the Barking Abbey London Lions, the first team onto the floor this afternoon. For those of you that haven't caught much WBBL action this year, key players to look out for from both sides. Wearing 10, Cassie Breen, really effective three-point shooter, shooting 47.6% in league action. But she does the damage not just from the three-point line, but from the 2 and the foul line. Shooting 54% total from the floor and 94% from the foul line. And then the all-British backcourt of Kennedy Leonard and Shanice Beckford-Norton. Kennedy Leonard leading scorer for the Lions this season, averaging 15.6 points per game. But the real story behind that is she's on course for a record-setting pace in assists, currently at 10.1 assists a game. We have not yet seen someone average double-digit assists in the WBBL. And as for the Sevenoaks Suns, Renee Bush, as mentioned earlier, being a real threat from the perimeter this year. Currently shooting 59% from 3 in league play. And the ever-reliable backcourt of the Suns, Tiani Clark and Kat Carr, contributing in all areas. Kat Carr averaging 15 points per game, 7 rebounds and nearly 8 assists. So do it all, and the Sevenoaks Suns are finally onto court, and we are ready on this slightly delayed tip to bring you this top-of-the-table clash between the Barking Abbey London Lions and the Sevenoaks Suns, as both teams take the need to continue to show their support for the Black Lives Matters movement. So one of these teams will take their first loss of the WBBL Championship season. And in the next hour and 45 minutes or so, it will all unfold here from the Surrey Sports Park as Paige Robinson wins the tip, but Tiani Clark will control it. And we are underway from the Surrey Sports Park. And the game clock was slightly delayed starting, so we will have a sideline ball for the Suns just as we get the game clock and shot clock synced up. And if our table officials just rectifying the problem. So the ever growing delays of this game continue, unfortunately, but hopefully in a few seconds we'll be underway and we'll have a smooth remainder of the afternoon. Barking Abbey are currently top of the league, obviously. Have played the 8 games, so are top at 8-0. Sevenoaks Suns, having had that COVID break over the Christmas period, having only played those 4 games. So if you look at it from a wins points overall, they are currently 5th in the league, but have multiple games in hand on their rivals. And we have fixed the issue and we are back underway. First possession of the game for the Sevenoaks Suns. It'll be Lavinia De Silva on the right wing. Garrido Perez off the handoff from Renee Bush to De Silva's going to take the 15-foot pull-up jump shot, just a little bit long. Rebound Paige Robinson, and Barking Abbey London Lions away in transition. Talking with Coach Len Busch before game, talking key about the defensive end and staying solid, especially in transition with Lions looking to force the pace. But Shanice Beckford-Norton turns it over on the baseline. Kat Carr pull-up is a little short, and the ball does not go out of bounds. Well saved by Chantel Charles on the baseline. And the Lions will set up their half-court offense. Kennedy Leonard on the right wing, receiving the ball screen from Paige Robinson, rolls to the rim. Robinson gets deep, misses, but her own offensive rebound is good. And Paige Robinson with the first score of the afternoon. De Silva has the switch on Leonard, see if they go to push up. Kat Carr wide open underneath on a miss switch, and Kennedy Leonard a little late trying to rotate across, fouls Kat Carr. And Kat Carr will head to the line for 2 shots. Carr yet to miss a free throw in league action. Has only taken the 7 free throws so far this season in league play, and make that 8 of 8 for the season for Kat Carr. And she makes the second to tie this game up at 2. Lions looking for Breen off the stagger screen. Breen sets her feet, catch and shoot. And for those of you not seen London Lions play this season, expect a lot of that off Cassie Breen. Coming off multiple screens, one of the best shooters this league has ever seen. As Kat Carr tries to force it into Lavinia De Silva, but picked away initially by Cassie Breen. Kennedy Leonard in transition hands it off to Breen, and the Suns have forced the Lions into another half-court offense. Chantel Charles with the deep 3, just a little short on that, and Suns looking for Clark off the flare screen. She's got a bit of room, she's going to take the 3 and knock it down. Tiani Clark, 25% from 3 on the year, but someone that can knock it down, and Chantel Charles just a little bit too far off her. And this game is tied at 5 as Kennedy Leonard's wide open in the corner. Assist Shanice Beckford-Norton, but give credit to Paige Robinson for the screen that freed Kennedy Leonard up on the baseline. And both teams off to a hot start from downtown. Suns trying to work the T-screen action. Carr high-low to De Silva, blows the layup but gets her own offensive rebound, unable to convert the second opportunity as well. And a rare miss from Lavinia De Silva, who has been efficient down low for the Suns all season, and last time she was here at the Surrey Sports Park in particular had a strong afternoon, as Paige Robinson called for the illegal screen, trying to free up Cassie Breen. Just moving slightly to her right, and Tahir Akar with the offensive foul call. First of the afternoon for Robinson, first foul of the game. Bush trying to look for the open player. Chantel Charles nearly picked it off. Kat Carr with the 3, a little long, and barking out in transition. Sevenoaks done a good job early on of not giving the London Lions much in transition. And again, we'll see some screens. Green flying off, unable to be open. Good defense by the Suns this time. Now Kennedy Leonard, right wing, 5 on the shot clock, thinks about the 3, gives it to Charles. She's going to back down and fade away on Kat Carr. Paige Robinson flies in from the weak side to collect the offensive rebound. And Lions have a 2-on-1 on the weak side. Skip past to Shanice Beckford-Norton, but Lavinia De Silva does well, but has to back off. Beckford-Norton, known for a quick first step, and she knocks down the jumper. And the Lions into an early 5-point lead. 4 minutes gone in this first quarter. De Silva working on Robinson. Finds Bush. Her catch and shoot 3 is good. And so far, offense is running the show here at the Surrey Sports Park. Green off the staggers again. Sevenoaks switch, and Garrido Perez couldn't quite see the ball, but her hand managed to find the passing lane. And the Lions will have the ball from the sideline. 13 seconds still on the shot clock. Leonard unable to find anything, gives it to Beckford Norton. Now 5 on the clock. She's going to get downhill and is fouled by, I believe that'll be De Silva on the pass. Indeed it is, so Lavinia De Silva's first of the afternoon, but Beckford Norton not looking to try and shoot, so will be an end-line ball for the Lions. Chantel Charles set the flare screen, rolled, sort of a roll and a slip at the same time to the hoop, unable to convert the layup. And again, it'll be Kat Carr to get the offense going. Both teams switching a lot of screens at the moment, especially on the ball. Sun's going to try and work this late ball screen. Carr initially going to reject, now going to drive and steps on the baseline, trying to skip. Good switch by Paige Robinson, gave Kat Carr nowhere to go, and she had to try and force him with the shot clock down to 3. And the first turnover of the afternoon. Charles again looking to slip that ball screen. Paige Robinson open from 15 foot, unable to get it to go. Shot she can consistently make. But Suns will come away and try and tie this game up, or perhaps take the lead for the first time. Carr, pull-up jump shot is good. And Tiani Clark, second bucket of the afternoon, ties us at 10, 4 minutes left of this first quarter. Reminders to keep your comments coming in. Any questions as well, I'll try and address during the game from the live chat. As Beckford Norton takes the pull-up 2. And Shanice Beckford Norton knocks down her second jumper of the afternoon and puts the Lions back into a lead. Garrido Perez left wide open from 3, just a little short, but Paige Robinson can't corral the rebound. De Silva kicks out to Bush, her 3 in and out. And it'll be Kennedy Leonard to set the half-court offense up. Finds the roll of Charles, just a little bit too strong on the pass. And Kat Carr comes up with still, looking to go coast to coast, drives past Leonard, right-handed layup is good. And we are tied again at 12. Looks like Steph Ume will be the first sub of the game. Mark Clark just sending her to the table 7 minutes in. As Leonard drives, gets some contact from Kat Carr, and layup rolls in and out. And it'll be the Suns with the chance to take the lead. Silva now in the mid-block, gonna back down on the slightly smaller Charles. Kicks it out to Tiani Clark, her left wing 3 is up, just a little short. And Kennedy Leonard looking to attack in transition, hesitation dribble, kicks it out to Beckford Norton. She's gonna drive, reach in by Tiani Clark, trying to force a held ball, but she gets some of the arm. And Shanice Beckford Norton will go to line for 2, and the first sub of the afternoon indeed coming in is Steph Ume replacing Paige Robinson, and double change for the Sevenoaks Suns, Janice Monacana and Katrin Holm in replacing Garrido Perez and De Silva. And it'll be Shanice Beckford Norton to the line for 2. Beckford Norton makes the first, shooting 76% from the line on the season, and able to keep the perfect streak alive for the day. Barking coming with a press, and Renee Bush just throws it into the front court. And an easy steal for Steph Ume as Kennedy Leonard tries to find Breen on the flare screen. Ball is tipped by Monacana. So London keep possession, 18 still on the shot clock. Leonard wide open, decides against the freeze. He's trying to drive the closeout of Rene Busch, but does a good job. Ume working on home, gets the turnaround, short little jumper to go, and the Lions are back into a 4-point lead. 2 minutes left of this first quarter here from the Surrey Sports Park. Which team will take their first loss of the championship season? As Tiani Clark cuts back door, Barking again, just missing out on the little slip as they tried to switch the screen, and Pat Carr able to find the back doors. Barking again, running this staggered screen set. Beckford Norton's going to drive right past Kat Carr. Layup is good. Kat Holm a little late on the help side rotation, and Shanice Beckford Norton is off to a hot start. 8 points personal, yet to miss a field goal. Also 2 assists as Monicana drives in on Chantel Charles and gets a left-handed layup to go. And this gap that's kind of hovered around the 2 to 4 point range for nearly the entire first quarter is still there in the final minute. Beckford Norton driving on Bush, loses the handle, tries to throw it behind the back. Referee happy there was not enough contact, and it'll be Suns in transition. Can they find Rene Bush, who's trailing still wide open? Shanice Beckford Norton just about gets back in time and trying to force it inside. Kennedy Leonard with the steal. Beckford Norton was on the floor well beyond the baseline and did well to get back in the play. Leonard and Ume working the ball screen, hands it off to Charles. She's going to take the long three and just too much on it, and Sevenoaks Suns will have a chance to hold for the final shot as we enter the final 12 seconds of this first quarter. Tiani Clark being guarded by Beckford Norton, calling for the screen from Monicana. London Lions don't switch and force Tiani Clark into a tough pull-up. Clark saying she wasn't apologising for not looking for the weak side of the floor. But that will do it from the first quarter here in Surrey. Sevenoaks Suns 16, London Lions 18. I'll take a quick break and rejoin you shortly for second quarter action. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park for the second quarter of this WBBL Championship clash. Sevenoaks Suns trailing by 2 against the London Lions after the first quarter. So London Lions with 4 consecutive quarter victories against the Suns dating back from their cup clash in November. Continue to see the replays of that first quarter. As you see there, Shanice Beckford Norton getting that layup to go, and she leads all scorers in the game with 8 points personal, yet to miss a shot. And Tiani Clark with 7 points of her own in that first quarter, as both teams heading out onto the floor. Just the one change for the Lions to start the second quarter will be Beckford Norton taking a break. And into the game for the first time, Ines Goranova. Suns sticking with the same 5 that closed that first quarter, as a kick ball to start the second quarter as Goranova tried to find Ume in the post. Leonard gets the ball screen off Chantel Charles, kicks it to Breen. Deep three, just off to left. Rebound, Monicana. And Kat Carr again trying to force early offense. Little pull-up jump shot short. Monicana, offensive rebound. Ends up taking a little fadeaway and leaves it short. And the fight for the rebound. The ball lands on the baseline. And the Sevenoaks Suns will have possession. Last tipped out by Goranova. Kat Holmes slipped the screen, but the ball deflected off Kennedy Leonard. Couldn't quite tell. Suns wanted a kick ball, but referee's happy, and Leonard goes coast to coast and lays it home. The Lions' leading scorer, Kennedy Leonard, up to 5 points and 3 assists already into this contest. And for whatever reason, the Suns can't quite tie this game up. Lions back into this 2-possession lead. Breen nearly strips the ball from Monicana, but Monicana keeps possession. And then foul, just a little bump on the drive there by Cassie Breen. That's her first personal of the contest. Kennedy Leonard, unhappy with the call, gets a warning for the technical foul. And the Suns get the ball in from the sideline. Garrido Perez, corner three is up and in. And we have a 1-point game. Garrido Perez shooting 41% on the season. The Suns come up with the steal. See if they can find anything in transition. Carr again looking to be aggressive, finds the cut in Garrido Perez. Her skip pass to Clark. And it'll be Monicana with the the three. And Janice Monicana knocks it down. And for the first time this afternoon, the Sevenoaks Suns have the lead. And consecutive turnover for the Lions. As you can see, the Monicana three there. Kennedy Leonard well away from contesting that shot. And Mark Clark will use the break to make a couple of substitutions. Chantel Charles and Cassie Breen out. Paige Robinson and Shanice Beckford-Norton back in as Lions working this press. Monicana forced to pick up a dribble, throws it away straight to Beckford-Norton. Chance for the Lions in transition. Haven't had many opportunities this afternoon. Leonard has to skip it out to Robinson. Finds Goranova back to Breen. Robinson looking to be aggressive, slipping the screen, but Suns deal with it this time. Goranova's going to drive into the paint. And Monicana, I believe, will be called for the reach-in. Indeed, she is. First personal foul on the afternoon for Janice Monicana. No player in this game yet to get to 2 fouls, as there's a foul. Talking of no one on 2 fouls, Paige Robinson will be the first to get there. Another moving screen on the baseline. Sends Tiani Clark to the deck. And coach Len Busch returning to the sidelines for the Suns will make a double change of his own. Clark and Holm check out. And back into the game, De Silva and Bush. Reminder, keep your comments coming if any questions or things you'd like me to discuss. I'll try and get to them during the game, as Sevenoaks again nearly turn over the ball against this press. Has certainly caused some problems, and Lavinia De Silva called for the push-off. Kenny Leonard was fronting the trying to stop the ball going in, and De Silva extended her arm away and was called for the offensive foul. Beckford-Norton to Leonard, asking for the ball screen. Still 10 on the clock, so plenty of time for the Lions. Kenny Leonard, pull-up three. Inadvertently off the glass, but it doesn't matter how they go in as long as they do. And Leonard's first triple of the afternoon. Sorry, second triple of the afternoon. My apologies. Third for the Lions has put them back into a 1-point lead. as the ball is tipped out of bounds. Referees just confirming that the last tip was indeed off a Lions player, which from my point of view, and I was right in front of it, seemed to be that way. And it'll be Valentina Clocker into the game for the first time for the Lions. Paige Robinson's gonna sit down with 2 personal fouls. And again, a slight delay, just discussing something between the referees and the table officials. Don't quite know what the issue is, but it seems like we're happy to get going, and referees just leaving the table now. As you can see, heading over, so it'll be Renee Bush with this sideline ball. 11 on the shot clock for the Suns. Beckford Norton guarding Carr, makes a pick of a dribble in the paint. Monicana cuts back door, blows the layup, gets her own offensive rebound and able to lay it in. Janice Monicana with 7 points off the bench for the Suns, as Monicana this time decides to gamble, trying to go for the steal, and Steph Ume able to convert on Monicana, not getting there. She will lay it home for 2. And this game continues to go back and forth between 2 of the best teams in the league. Carr dishes it off to De Silva down low, and Lavinia De Silva gets her first bucket of the afternoon. Had started 0 of 3 from the floor. The Portuguese international averaging 11 points and 9 rebounds a game on the season. Beckford Norton looking to reject the screen, eventually gets all the way to the rim, blows the left-handed layup. We will have a tie-up on the rebound. Possession arrow in favour of the Sevenoaks Suns, so they will retain possession. And Cassie Breen checking back into the game. Kennedy Leonard taking, I believe, her first break of the afternoon. Indeed it is. Suns break the press this time with a long pass to De Silva in the middle of the press. Beckford Norton has done a terrific job all year on the defensive end. Kept Kat Carr in front of her, but she found a wide open Renee Bush. And the one person you don't want to leave wide open from 3 on this Suns team is Renee Bush. She knocks down her second triple, and the Suns have their first 2 possession lead of the afternoon. Goranova driving on Garrido Perez, spins and takes the 1 extra step, and will be called for the travel. Just see there the 3rd step, and in fact we've got a timeout, so timeout called by Lions head coach Mark Clark. Suns leading by 4 and have really started this second quarter well, leading the quarter 13-7. So no doubt those 13 points in just under 4.5 minutes will be the thing he is addressing with his side during this timeout. Make sure, obviously, this game brought to you on the WBBL official YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and follow. Make sure you catch all the live games. Teams using both this channel and their own. So as well as obviously this YouTube page, keep an eye on the Twitter just to make sure you can catch all the live streams this season. The teams around the league doing a great job of bringing you action. Obviously, no fans are going to be in the building for presumably the rest of this season. Perhaps there will be a chance we can see some fans in the playoff final if all goes well and to timescale. But until then, YouTube is the best place to be for WBBL action. Reminder, this is 1 of 3 games this afternoon. 5 o'clock we have the Manchester Met Mystics taking on the Oaklands Wolves. And then at 6:30 the Cardiff Met Archers and the Essex Rebels will complete the midweek fixtures here. And talking with Coach Len Busch before the game, midweek fixtures are something that we are going to be seeing a lot of the rest of the season. Sevenoaks still have 15 games after today to play and just over a month to play them. and the Suns will have a 4 games in 5 days stretch in April, as things currently are scheduled. And Lions are back into this press, coming out the timeout. Suns this time do a better job of breaking it with ease, and in that timeout, Coach Len Busch making a sub into the game for the first time, one of the Suns academy players, Zuleika Franklin, into the game, and doesn't affect the Suns offense at all. And the Suns have the first 6-point lead of the afternoon. Goranova looking to attack off the ball screen, finds Beckford Norton. She takes the long range three and knocks it down. Shanice Beckford Norton doesn't shoot too many from outside. About 20% of her shots are from downtown, but she's able to make it, and half the gap. De Silva to Franklin, guarded by Goranova. The two youngsters going at it. Franklin gets behind Goranova, and she knocks her down from behind. Ines Goranova, first personal of the afternoon, 3rd team foul of the quarter for Barking. Slight apologies for the issue with the score. You can see it says 284. It is in fact 28 points for the London Lions. So they trail by 3, as a couple of changes for the Lions. Charles and Leonard back into the game. Bush comes off the silver screen, leaves her open in the post, and as she goes to back her down, she just shuffles her feet and will be called for the travel. Eighth turnover of the afternoon for the Suns. They're a team that only averaged just over 15 a contest, and already at that halfway point, as Leonard wide open, unable to connect on the three. De Silva saves it, and Lions will have a 3-on-2, but Shanice Beckford Norton, great defense, sees the outlet pass going to Renee Bush and able to get there and break up the transition offense. And good news for all you Suns fans, Tiani Clark able to check into the game. She was getting her upper leg looked at after that collision with Robinson that saw Paige Robinson commit her second foul on the moving screen, but she is back into the lineup. Bush wide open from 3, taking advantage of the switch. Cassie Breen with a passive switch, and Renee Bush continues her fine shooting start to really the whole season. 7 of 10 on Saturday, 3 of 4 here already. And Suns 6 of 11 from downtown as a team so far, as Beckford Norton takes the pull-up 2, just leaves it a little to the right. And the Sevenoaks Suns defense starting to really slow the Lions down, as Clark and De Silva unable to connect on the backdoor attempt. Mark Clark wanting a little bit more ball movement from his Lions side on this possession. See what they come up with, as Clocker tries to find Breen, and too much on the pass. And she'll be immediately replaced by Steph Ume. Clocker, first season in the WBBL, having spent some time in the States. Bush on the flare screen. Suns with Janice Monacano was trying to post at the Beckford Norton, but again the Suns finding space on the perimeter, and this time it's Kat Carr with the triple, and this lead is up to 9 all of a sudden. And right now the London Lions are really struggling to attain the 3-point line. Leonard skipped to Breen, just enough space for the catch and shoot. Little long. Leonard with the great save, saves it behind the back. And Chantel Charles able to keep possession. Still 10 on the shot clock. Leonard driving in, stopped by Renee Bush, but illegally so. So Renee Bush called for the first personal of the afternoon for her 3rd team foul. And she will get a breather, replaced by Garrido Perez. 2.5 minutes still to go of this first half. Green looks one way, drives the other, finds Ume. Kicks it to Beckford Norton, shot clock is low, she's forced to skip past. Breen gets it off, they say in time. And Cassie Breen knocks down the triple. Kat Carr was there to contest, but just one step too far off. And she blows the layup on the other end. De Silva bats it out. Ball finds Monacana, her three in and out. Offensive rebound, De Silva blocked by Chantel Charles on the pull-up. Sorry, on the layup attempt. Good defense by the GB International. And the Lions have a chance to cut this gap again. Breen driving on De Silva, gonna go to the up and under move. Good defense by De Silva, forced her into the hook. Unable to convert that. Tough shot for Cassie Breen. And it'll be the Suns into the final 90 seconds, trying to extend this lead. Carr kicks it to Clark, finds Garrido Perez in the corner. Thinks about the three, guarded by Leonard. She's going to drive. Finds De Silva working underneath on Ume. Great pass, Kat Carr. And Lavinia De Silva with her 4th point of the afternoon. 4 assists as well for Kat Carr. Ume, step back jumper is good. Steph Ume, the Cornell graduate, with her 6th point of the afternoon, coming in averaging nearly 14 points a game for Mark Clark off the bench. Ume gambles on the steal. De Silva finds the wide open Garrido Perez. And there will be a foul on Lavinia De Silva. I think trying to stop Kennedy Leonard flying out to contest the shot. And it'll be Kat Holm replacing Lavinia De Silva, who picks up her 3rd personal of the afternoon. Renee Bush also in for Janice Monacana. And we'll see if the Lions go for a 2-for-1 opportunity here. 47 seconds left on the game clock. Kat Holm, the mid-season pickup for the Suns, replacing Julia Koppel, who's gone to compete in Germany. We'll get onto that storyline a little bit better later on in the game. And Suns deflect the ball away, and it'll be the Lions with the baseline ball. 10 on the shot clock, 32.8 on the game clock. There's still chime for 2-for-1 if they go quick. Ume over her right shoulder, able to get it to roll in and go. And we'll have about a 2.5 second shot clock, game clock differential. Suns leading by 4. See if they do indeed wind the shot clock down. Renee Bush open from the 3. In and out, rebound, Kennedy Leonard. Lions 5 seconds to go. Leonard's going to be aggressive here. See what she comes up with. Stops, fades away, and the 3 unable to go. Kennedy Leonard had a little bit more time there than I think she thought she did, and forced the shot with a couple of seconds to go. And that will bring us to half-time here at the Surrey Sports Park. Sevenoaks Suns finally breaking that winning quarter streak that the Lions had on them, winning the second quarter 23-17, and they will take a 39-35 half-time lead into, well, I would say the locker room, but both teams are using the space behind the bench allocated for them, obviously with COVID protocols. Just a quick look at the leading stats from the first half before we take a break here at Surrey Sports Park. Leading scores for the Suns, Renee Bush and Janice Monacana, both on 9 points personal. Lavinia De Silva with those 3 fouls, but has contributed 4 points and 7 rebounds. As for Mark Clark's London Lions, it's Shanice Beckford Norton, a little bit quieter in that second quarter, but that hot start still allowed her to get to 11 points personal at the break to go with 3 assists. And Kennedy Leonard continuing to do things all across the stat sheet. 8 points personal, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. But no doubt it'll be the defense that Mark Clark will be addressing with his side at half-time, especially on the perimeter. The Suns 7 of 15 from outside, 46%. Renee Bush with 3 of them, and then 1 each for Tiani Clark, Kat Carr, Ines Garrido Perez and Janice Monacana. Barking still a good success rate from outside, 45%, 5 of 11. Cassie Breen and Kennedy Leonard both 2 of 4 from downtown. No doubt both coaches will be addressing the fact that the shooters they had on their scout reports that they didn't want shooting from the perimeter have got off multiple attempts. But for now, we will take a break from the Surrey Sports Park with, if you put some comments and thoughts out there about the first half and things you have seen at home live on the WBBL YouTube, we'll come back slightly early and address them. But for now, I'll take a quick break and see you in about 8 or 10 minutes time. back to the Surrey Sports Park for this WBBL Championship clash. Half-time score, Sevenoaks Suns 39, London Lions 35. Welcome to all of you joining us for this second half recap of the first half for those of you unable to make it. Obviously, this being a lunchtime tip-off, the Lions had an early first quarter lead. Shanice Beck-for-Norton went for 9 points personal in the first quarter without missing a shot. And then in the second quarter, really, the Suns dominated from the perimeter. Renee Bush and Janice Monacana both causing Barking some problems. Renee Bush 3 of 5 from the perimeter for her 9 points personal to lead all scorers for the Suns. And the ever reliable Tiana Clark and Kat Carr both chipping in with 7 apiece. The one slight perhaps issue Len Busch has is his starting Portuguese big Lavinia da Silva on the 3 personal fouls in that first quarter. Sorry, in that first half. As for the London Lions, as mentioned, Shanice Beck-for-Norton with that early start to the game, leading all scorers for the Lions with 11 points personal to go with 3 assists. And then Kennedy Leonard and Steph Yume both with 8 points personal. Steph Yume yet to miss a shot. She is 4 of 4 from the floor. And Kennedy Leonard, as normal, filling up the stat sheet in multiple columns. 8 points personal, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, as both teams are making their way to the benches to get their final instructions from their respective coaches. The big news for Sevenoaks, obviously leading in, Coach Len Busch are back on the sidelines, having missed a couple of games, having been quite severely affected by COVID, but still not feeling 100%, but happy enough that he can lead his side this afternoon. As for the Lions, Chantel Charles, who missed the last couple of games, back into the lineup. And obviously, as much as they've got the eye on this game, and I know Mark Clark wanting to keep this unbeaten streak going. Of course, the Lions in WBBL Trophy final action Sunday, 3 PM from the University of Worcester Arena. That game live on Sky Sports against the Nottingham Wildcats. For those of you who do not have Sky, do not worry. It is expected that game will be on Sky Sports YouTube channel. So we'll be able to follow the game on multiple platforms as the Sunside Lions make their first appearance in a final in 5 years. Sevenoaks Suns have a double-header this weekend in the league. Back here at Surrey Sports Park on Saturday, 1 o'clock tip time again, as Chris Bunton and the Newcastle Eagles, riding a 3-game winning streak, will arrive at Surrey Sports Park. And then Sevenoaks have a home game. However, they will be travelling with venue difficulties. They will travel to Essex to play Essex. So the Essex stream and commentary team, including Big Dog Balling, who is in the chat, will bring you that game from Essex. And it'll be Chantel Charles to find Kennedy Leonard. And we are underway for the second quarter action. Line straight into this triple screen that we've seen. Sevenoaks this time do a good job of defending it. Nothing there, so Leonard calls for the ball screen. Robinson slipped the ball screen, but left Leonard nothing. And now short shot clock. See what Kennedy Leonard can muster up. University of Colorado graduate has to force up the 3. And rebound was pulled in initially by da Silva, knocked out of bounds by a Lions player, so Suns ball. Kennedy Leonard, GB under 20, her second pro season, having had 4 great years at the University of Colorado in the Pac-12, playing her first season in the league. As Bush on the sideline drives the baseline, dumps it off to da Silva. She completely blows the layup. Rebound eventually pulled in by Chantel Charles. Give us credit to Paige Robinson for being on the floor. Leonard, hesitation dribble, drives on Clark and no contact. Well, sorry, referee says there was contact, but Tiana Clark in her cylinder straight up. And it'll be Kat Clark driving, trying to find the cutting da Silva. She turns it over and the Lions have to slow it down again. Lions really got nothing going in transition so far this afternoon. Only the 2 first break points in the first quarter. Really uncharacteristic for this Lions side. Robinson again being aggressive, slipping the screen. Now going to go to work on De Silva on those 3 fouls. She gets to her right hand over her left shoulder, and Paige Robinson's second basket of the afternoon brought this back to a 1-possession game. Sevenoaks did have a 9-point lead briefly in the second quarter before the Lions made a bit of a gain to close that first half. Tiani Clark are backing down. Chantel Charles fakes, then blocked by Charles. 1 on the shot clock, but it doesn't matter as it was Tiani Clark that knocked the ball out of bounds. Chantel Charles' second block of the afternoon. And Suns switch off in transition. Beckford Norton had a lane to the basket but chose not to take it, and she will kick it out. And the Lions again working in the half court. This triple screen you can see on the near side to the camera, weak side of the ball. Leonard finds Norton, give and go. Breen working off the double screen this time. Curls, gets all the way to lane and lays it home. And really no team in the WBBL has consistently solved this set from Mark Clark. Seen it time in, time out against multiple opponents. So many variations to it, and credit Lions for executing in the half court and keeping teams on their heels. And we're tied at 39. Garrido Perez found inside. Foul on the floor though. Foul, let's see. It is on 10. Cassie Breen, her second personal first team foul of the second half for the Lions. So Breen will join Paige Robinson on those 2 fouls. No one else in any foul trouble for the Suns. Can hear a lot of communication from both players on and off the court, as well as Mark Clark on the defensive end trying to get the Lions going. Carr finds a little bit of room. Her jumper's a little long, and now Lions chance attack. Charles cutting to the rim in transition on Kat Clark. She lays it home. And suddenly the London Lions into a lead once again. 6-0 start to this second quarter. Beckford Norton, arguably the best perimeter defender in the leagues, knocks it away. And the London Lions come out with a lot more intensity on the defensive end in this second quarter. You can probably hear from the floor mics the fact that the noise from the bench has increased a lot as well. A lot more energy. Suns free on the shot clock. Garrido Perez drives on Robinson, gets the contact. Robinson brings her arm down, trying to block the shot. Little bump as well. And Garrido Perez to the line, 4-2. Suns only had that 1 trip to the foul line in the first quarter. In fact, both teams only had the 1 trip to the foul line. Both teams perfect at 2-2 as Garrido Perez knocks down the first. Second free throw in the WBBL Championship all season that was. Had made the first, so able to keep that 100% streak going, even if it is only 3 of 3 on the year. And Suns tied us back up at 41 and stop that 6-0 run. Beckford Norton firing it up over Bush and is cool. Renee Bush called for the foul. She must have just slightly come underneath Beckford Norton. And she will head to line 4-2. She is the only Lion to head to the line, as we were just talking about, shooting 76% on the season. That is Renee Bush's second personal foul of the contest. And Beckford Norton unable to make her the second, so she's continuing to receive average in around that 75% mark. Carr down low, looks one way, goes over the other shoulder, and Carr up to 9 points personal. Someone that can score on all three levels, inside, mid-range and from the perimeter, as Bector Norton drives, skips it to Breen. Carr there late, but able to get Breen off the three-point line. She goes with the runner, leaves it a little short. Ball is loose. Umay with the rebound to Charles, and Rene Busch knocks it away. Bodies flying everywhere. But Lions will have 11 on the shot. When you see Umay comes up with it, Busch knocks it loose. Charles has it. Busch again knocks it loose, but still Lions ball with the 11 on the shot clock. Breen to the corner. Chantal Charles slips off the screen and lays it home. Rene Busch annoyed with herself for being late, and we've seen a lot of that this afternoon from the Lions, trying to be aggressive with rolls and slips to the hoop to take advantage of the Suns' defence. Both teams mixing up their coverages as Clark left the wide open on the left elbow, and she knocks down the jumper with ease. And now 4 Suns all on 9 points personal, and Charles is hobbling a little bit. She goes to the floor to get the sub, and it'll be Paige Robinson checking in. Subs for the Suns, Garrido Perez takes a breather, and Janice Monacana, another player that is on those 9 points personal for the Suns, checking in. Leonard attacking downhill off the ball screen, finds Umay, her 15-foot jumper off. A little long, her first miss of the afternoon. Suns find Busch wide open, left wing, her three little short. But again, Barking just late on the rotation. And Rene Busch, not someone you want to leave open from the three-point line. This time unable to make it pay. Umay driving on Monacana, does well to cut her off. Has to throw it inbounds to try and keep possession, but Suns come up with it. Carr, Monacana's going to pop this time, fakes the three, drives and travels, trying to fire the ball into Tiani Clark, who was open, but just shuffled her feet, trying to get the pass off. Good defense by Paige Robinson, step up and cut the lane off. And certainly at home, hopefully you all agree that this top of the table clash is living up to expectations, as Cassie Breen knocks down the three. Not sure Kat Carr could do a lot. She was there on the catch, good contest, but Cassie Breen knocks it down with confidence as Leonard strips the ball on the pass, and she will go coast to coast, a layup, and time out. Coach Len Busch didn't use one at all in the first half, I don't believe, but this quick run by the Lions forced him to take it. And Cassie Breen catch and shoot, Kennedy Leonard steal and score. And suddenly the Lions into a 2-possession lead for the first time in a long time. It was really late first quarter, early second quarter where we last saw the Lions with a 2-possession lead. So Coach Len Busch will take this time to regather the troops and just talk about perhaps the offense, which has slowed a little bit in the last couple of minutes. And you can see him there with the board talking to his side. Reminder, those of you that haven't looked at the league table in recent weeks, neither of these sides have lost a game in the championship this season. In fact, both teams have only got the one loss in all competitions. Lions' only loss came to the Suns back in the group stage of the Cup. Lions 60, Sevenoaks 70. That was mid-November, and of course the Suns' loss was the WBBL Cup final to the Leicester Riders back in the middle of February. The only real difference between these two teams is the amount of games played in the league. London Lions 8-0, Sevenoaks Suns 4-0. And no matter what happens today, there will be a lot of teams in contention, perhaps for the title. Leicester Riders at 8-1. Essex Rebels also right in the mix, being at 7-2. And of course, a lot of these sides have still got to play each other twice in league action. Sevenoaks yet to play the Rebels or the Riders. And it will be Tiani Clark to bring the ball up, see what they were talking about in the timeout, see what Len Bush may have drawn up, perhaps looking for Kat Carr in the post. She's working on Steph Ume from the mid-block, drives middle, and a reach in by Kennedy Leonard. And you can just see here Leonard coming in from the weak side. May have got hands on the ball, but that reach across with the ball being on the weak side of Carr, she's always going to get a little bit of arm as well, and she called for her second personal of the afternoon. Third team foul on the Lions. Tiani Clark dishes it off to Monacana down low. She forces it up in between Leonard and Robinson and gets it to drop. And Janice Monacana, the first Sevenoaks Suns player into double digits this afternoon. Leonard to Breen on the handoff. She's going to get into the paint, kicks it to Robinson. Mid-range jumper is good. And Paige Robinson back out the team she went to before she headed off to the States, 2 years at Midland College, then finished her time at the University of Florida. As Bush wide open from the flare screen, unable to get the free to go, just off to the right-hand side. Renee Bush, second miss in a row. Don't think she'll be missing a third if she's that wide open, as Bush bumps Breen, but in a good enough legal guarding position to not draw the foul, and Cassie Breen steps on the baseline as Garrido Perez will replace Bush with just under 3 minutes left of this third quarter. Carts looking to drive right and goes through Cassie Breen's chest. And she's saying she did not extend her arm. Referees disagree, and Kat Carr will be given the warning for the technical foul. The Lions pick one up early in the first quarter, so both teams with the warning. And actually, as you can see there, Kat Carr does extend that left arm into the chest of Cassie Breen, so good call by the officials. Carr's first personal of the game, so no real worry about fouls, but the loss of possession in a close game, perhaps something she didn't want, as Leonard finds Ume on the pick and roll. Robinson with the offensive rebound. She's blocked on the putback attempt. I'm not quite sure who got her hands on it, as De Silva catches the ball in transition, but Kennedy Leonard able to come from the weak side and knock it loose. Lions help side has been relatively good on the rolls, and this afternoon and done a good job of breaking up a lot of the passes. Carl looked to slip back door, but Lions do a good job, and now she'll post up on Leonard, this time from the opposite side of the floor. She drives middle, tries to find Garrido Perez, who was circling under the basket, but 4 Lions in the area come up with the steal. As Leonard goes to a little scoop shot and will be called for the offensive foul. Janice Monacana coming over on the help side, gets her feet outside the charge circle. And Kennedy Leonard with a third personal foul of the afternoon. But all credit on that one to Janice Monacana for getting there and taking the charge. And Suns with a quick change. Renee Bush and Kat Holm back into the lineup. Lavinia De Silva, one of the Suns taking a break. She's on 3 fouls. Monacana left drive, blows by Ume, and she nearly missed the layup, but gets it to go. A little friendly roll from the home rims. Breen flares the screen, thinks about the three. She's going to drive past Carr. Pull up is good. And Cassie Breen really starting to dominate on the offense end. She's up to 13 points personal, leads all scorers. And the Lions back into a 4-point lead. Monacana slips. Leonard there on the help, forces Monacana to take the short jumper. She misses. And Leonard comes away with it. Tries to find Ume on the slip. She turns it over, and Kat Carr finds Garrido Perez wide open. Pump fake, gets Leonard in the air, stays on the spot, fires at the 3, and Suns have gone cold from the perimeter all of a sudden, having made it feel like nearly everything in the first half. Can't get anything to go in this third quarter. as we're into the final minute. Ume skip to Beckford Norton. She drives, kicks to Leonard. Pump fake and drive. She finds Ume on the relocation. Her in and out. And Renee Bush trying to box out Beckford Norton, but does so illegally with the push. And commits her third personal foul of the afternoon. Third team foul of the quarter. So a couple of big players for each side on 3 personal fouls, and Kennedy Leonard will take a breather on those 3 fouls, replaced by Ines Goranova. 27 seconds to go in the quarter, so 1 offense each. Left Robinson to Ume. Nowhere to go. Has to kick it out to Breen. 3 on the shot clock. She will drive. Step back is good. Cassie Breen. And the Lions into their largest lead of the entire afternoon. 6 points. See if Suns can cut that down. Carr to her left. Step back 3 up and good. Big shot, Kat Carr. And this heavyweight battle continues at both ends of the floor. Everyone stepping up and making shots. And the London Lions will come away with a third quarter victory, having jumped out to that early 6-0 start. Win the third quarter 21-12. No, it's 21-13, correction. And going into the fourth quarter, they will take a short break. I will join the players in a quick break and rejoin us in about 40 seconds for what should be a sensational fourth quarter here from the Surrey Sports Park. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park. It'll be Kat Carr to inbound the ball to get us underway for the fourth quarter. If you're in the comments section, this is the time. Put your prediction in the comments. Who have you got taking the first loss of the season? As Kat Carr blows by Ume, but misses the layup. And it'll be Ines Goranova to push the ball in transition for the Lions. Breen, pull-up 3, in and out. Robinson, offensive rebound. She misses the putback. Contested rebound. There's about 6 players there. Good luck telling me who's got the ball. And good luck telling me. Good luck telling the referee. He calls a jump ball because he also does not have a clue, and I don't blame him. So it'll be a Lions ball on the possession arrow. Cassie Breen will take out of bounds on court for the two teams to start this fourth quarter. Breen, Robinson, Beckford Norton, Ume and Goranova for the Lions. Bush, Garrido Perez, Monicana, Holm and Carr for the Suns as Shanice Beckford Norton hits the little fadeaway jumper. She's up to 14 points personal. As Garrido Perez left wide open on the weak side. Monicana finds it on the skip pass. And we're back to a one-possession game. in this battle of someone's has to go. Going over, youngster reverse layup, leaves it a little short. And it'll be Kat Carr who's dominated the ball so much for the Suns this afternoon. Finds Monicana now, still 12 on the shot clock, guarded by Robinson. Picks a dribble up, finds Perez. Now Carr really nearly on the three-point line. Gets past Breen, finds Bush on the wraparound pass. Her jumper a little short, she knocks it loose. Kat Carr finds home, gets some contact on the on the layup attempt. And Paige Robinson commits her 4th personal foul of the afternoon. And the Suns' newest signing to the line for 2 shots. And Mark Clark will take this time to make a double substitution. Good news for you Lions fans at home. Chantel Charles, who took the knock in the 3rd quarter, able to return to the game. And she comes in along with Kennedy Leonard. As Kat Holm misses the first free throw. Knocks down the second. And we have a 1-point game at the Surrey Sports Park. Leonard to going over. She's going to spot up for 3, wide open. Ume with the rebound. Big rebound by Steph Ume, and Janice Monicana with the foul from behind. And in a game with limited free throws, both sides going to line early in this 4th quarter. Holm and who looked like she might have cut her lip actually. And Garrido Perez check out De Silva and Clark back in. De Silva on those 3 personal fouls, along with Renee Bush. Only 2 Suns players in real foul trouble. And Ume makes them both. Lions 5 of 6 as a team. And back into a little press. Going over, comes to trap Clark, she gets it away. Monicana thinks about the 3, he's going to drive left. Finds Renee Bush eventually, and Renee Bush will be called for the 3 seconds. Lions collapsing in on her, nowhere to go. Was going to get the ball up, but just been in the key a little bit too long. And the Suns commit their 15th turnover of the game. Going over into Ume. Her elbow jump shot is in and out. And Tiani Clark will pull down her 4th rebound of the afternoon. Finds Bush, wide open, right wing 3, knocks it down, and we are tied at 59. Said in the 3rd, Renee Bush wouldn't miss a 3rd if she's wide open, and indeed she didn't. And she's now up to 12 points personal. It's Leonard, hesitation dribble, gets to the baseline, keeps her dribble alive, finds Ume, foul line jumper is good. And credit to Kennedy Leonard, that hesitation dribble really causing the separation to allow her to get all the way to the baseline. And as she's done all season long, finds the right extra pass. Leonard, of course, currently averaging just over 10 assists a game, would be a WBBL record, as Kat Carr stops behind the screen and pulls the 3. And she's now 3 of 4 from downtown. And big players, the players you would expect heading into the game to step up, are indeed making plays in this 4th quarter. Chantel Charles now driving on De Silva, kicks it to Beckford Norton. Her angle's cut off, but Charles is left wide open. Her 3 off to the left, however. But Janice Monicana really disappointed. She left herself wide open to 2 GB internationals guarding each other, as Clark gets by Leonard but misses the layup. And going over, still in the game, finds Leonard on the weak side, finds a trailing Charles. She decides against the 3, he's going to drive. Good defense by Tiani Clark, but does not stop Chantel Charles. Her layup is good, and this lead is going back and forwards. Cassie Breen at the scorer's table, been there for a good 2 minutes, cannot get into this game as there's not a whistle. As Carr posts up Leonard, Leonard called for the reach. And that will be Kennedy Leonard's 4th personal foul. as Breen checks in for Goranova and Garrido Perez for Clark. So Kennedy Leonard will have to survive these last 6 minutes. Out. Fouling out would be a huge loss of his Lions side. Already nearly got that double-double, 10 points, 9 assists for Leonard on the afternoon. Bush wide open, deep three, a little long, and Stephanie May tracks down the defensive board. And it'll be Beckford Norton pushing, loses the handle but keeps possession, finds Leonard. Lions pick and roll. Leonard took the pull-up. Monacana gave her room to take it, but that's in and out. And this game continues to be close. Final 5 minutes near enough. Monacana now driving right. Comes all the way into the middle, I believe, blocked by Beckford Norton. She's certainly got a hand on it. And it'll be Suns ball with 9 on the shot clock. And coach Len Busch will have an opportunity to drop a baseline out of bounds play as Mark Clark calls timeout for his London Lions side, leading by 1. And this would be a great time. Let people know this game is happening. Share this stream, post about it on social media, and get as many people as we can joining us for the final 5 minutes, 13 seconds of this clash of the 2 unbeaten sides. The 4-0 Sevenoaks Suns and the 8-0 Barking Abbey London Lions from the Surrey Sports Park. London Lions, reminder, are in the WBBL Trophy Final on Sunday, live on Sky Sports from the University of Worcester Arena. They will take on the Nottingham Wildcats, a side they have beaten twice already this year. That game on Sky Sports and the Sky Sports YouTube. So no excuse for not joining us, especially if you're liking what you're seeing here, which I imagine all of you in the comments are. This Wednesday afternoon clash between 2 sides that you imagine will be in contention for the championship all year long. Suns won the first contest between the 2 sides back in November by 10. I believe that was actually the first game of the season for both teams, so some similarities and a lot of differences as teams have continued to grow throughout this WBBL championship season. And we'll see what Len Busch has drawn up. 9 seconds on this baseline out of bounds. It'll be Renee Bush to inbound the ball. Sevenoaks in a little box set, which is something we don't see too often. Carr looks like they're going to try and free Bush up on the baseline. Line switch out. Monacana 3 on the shot clock. Finds Carr. She's going to have to hoist it over. Leonard banks the 3. And doesn't matter how they go in as long as they do. Kat Carr, 4 of 5 from downtown. 18 points, 6 assists for the Suns captain. And she's having a big impact as Charles on the roll, trying to find the cut in Ume, and she turns it over. And for those of you saying that the bank shot's unfair and weren't here earlier, Kennedy Leonard banked one in. So the glass being equally friendly to both teams from downtown this afternoon, 1 each. And as we enter the final 5 minutes of what's been a really good clash between 2 top teams, we're going to go down the wire as Monacana's 3 is off to the left. Breen wide open in transition. Good find by Leonard. Ball batted around on the rebound, and it'll be De Silva that pulls it down. But Cassie Breen, one of the best shooters in the league, gets a wide open look. Garrido Perez 3 in and out. Saved by Ume, and we'll see who the last touch was off. It was off De Silva, so Lions get the stop. And we'll see if they can tie or indeed take this lead on this possession with 4 minutes to go. And game clock didn't quite start. So just referee and the table working together to get that fixed. And the officials are indeed happy. So it'll be Chantel Charles to inbound the ball from just in front of my position here on the sideline. And we'll see what Lions can do. Look like they're going to this triple screen again. Green trying to cut off it. Beckford Norton back to Leonard. Still little time on the shot clock now. Leonard in and out. Gets the contact from Garrido Perez on the buzzer. The ball doesn't go, but Kennedy Leonard will head to line for 2 shots. And that'll be the first foul of the afternoon on the Spaniard. Second team foul of the quarter for the Suns. In fact, both teams have 2 team fouls, so be in a situation down the stretch where the free throw line may well be used, with one team perhaps needing a foul to stop the clock. But we'll worry about that in about 3 minutes' time as Leonard sinks them both. And Tiani Clark checking back in for the final 4 minutes of action. She'll replace Garrido Perez. And we are tied at 65. Lions in this press. But Suns, who struggled with it earlier in the game, break it with good success. Monicana working down low, called for the hook on Kennedy Leonard. And you can see here, Monicana trying to go back to the right, just extends that left arm all the way around. And that is her 3rd personal of the game. And reminder that Kennedy Leonard is playing down the stretch with 4 fouls. Multiple Suns have 3, but no one on immediate danger of fouling out. Breen off the staggers. Leonard coming off the other side of the floor, guarded by Rene Busch, gonna beat her to the middle. Scoop layup is good. Kennedy Leonard 4 quick points to put the London Lions back into the lead. She's up to 14 points personal now. And a foul called on the baseline. Cat card driving. Reach in by Chantel Charles, her first of the contest, 3rd team. So both teams have 1 more foul till they're in the penalty. And the Suns with 17 on the clock will have baseline ball. Bush comes off the side. She's wide open on the weak side. Kat Carr sets the flare screen. Kennedy Leonard lucky not to be called for the foul. De Silva finds Rene Busch. Reverse layup is good. And the Lions catch a break. Kennedy Leonard didn't realise Kat Carr was there on the flare screen and ran right through her. You've seen those fouls called. But Rene Busch able to still get points. And we are tied at 67, 2:40 to go. Ume driving on Monicana, gets the contact and can't get the roll. But Steph Ume will go to the line. You can see Monicana's left hand just reaches down, trying to make a play at the ball. But that will be her 4th foul of the afternoon. 4th team foul for the Suns as well. And Chantel Charles clearly still limping a little. That will be a worry for the Lions heading into Sunday's final. But for sure right now that is not on their mind at all. Be Paige Robinson checking in for Chantel Charles. And Ume makes the first to give her side the lead. Misses the second. Offensive rebound, Paige Robinson. Great job to keep the ball alive. Only the second miss from the line this afternoon for the Lions at 8 of 10. And see if they can capitalise on this second chance opportunity. Beckford Norton going all the way round. A layup is good. Tough finish for Shanice Beckford Norton. But she's up to 16 points personal. Leads all scorers for the Lions. And can they reply with stop? Monicana drives middle. And if Janice Monicana getting back to her left hand, Mark Clark knows the one way you don't want to give Monicana a drive is to the left. He's disappointed. And it's a two-point game. De Silva with the steal on Leonard's pass. And we're into the final 2 minutes. Monicana thinks about the free, drives at middle, finds Clark wide open free, in and out. De Silva position for the rebound. Referees decide no foul, and they will give the ball to the Suns. It looked like, even from the replay, I'll be honest, I can't tell if Ume or De Silva got the last touch. The referees will talk about it. Possession arrow, for those of you keeping track of that at home. is with the Sevenoaks Suns. So any jump ball, Sevenoaks keep possession. But the referees will go with Sevenoaks possession as originally called. 13 on the shot clock. Clark to Carr. She's been guarded by Robinson. Backdoor cut, deflected out of bounds. Cassie Breen. And the Suns now have 7 seconds to work on the shot clock. 1 point game. 1:34 left. We still don't know which team's going to take their first loss of the season. And you'd be a brave person to say you know which way it's going. Monicana, free air ball. Clark gets the offensive rebound, has to put it up to beat the shot clock. She can't connect with the rim. And Shanice Beckford-Norton with a big defensive board. And it'll be Kennedy Leonard to come away with it. Finds Robinson inside, a layup is good. And London Lions with the 3-point lead. 70 seconds left. Carr to Bush. Carr driving past Paige Robinson, gets to the baseline, stops and able to find a way to wriggle it home. I think initially thought she was under the hoop, but had that little gap. And it's still a 1-point game. London Lions with the lead. 50 seconds to go. And Lions with Beckford-Norton, 5 on the shot clock. Bush, left pull-up. Rebound is loose, and Paige Robinson knocks it out of bounds. 37.3 to go. Coach Len Busch double checks with Kat Carr. He wants the timeout rather than letting him go. And indeed, Kat Carr, who looks exhausted, hands on knees, gives a nod. And time out, Sevenoaks Suns. 37.3 seconds to go. Trailing by 1. And make sure you stay with us after the game. We will try and get some post-game reaction from one or both sides here at the Surrey Sports Park after the game. And I'm sure you'll want to hear from players on both sides after what has been a truly sensational game. The two teams without a loss in the league going back and forth all game long. And the question is, who will come out with this victory? Just a recap to keep an eye on everything, because all the small things will matter down the stretch. Possession arrow on a jump ball would be Sevenoaks Suns ball. Suns have 14 fouls, so if they do foul, either forced or by accident, they are in the penalty, so Lions will shoot free throws. Mark Clark's side have the 1 foul still to give. In terms of personal fouls, Kennedy Leonard and Paige Robinson both playing on those 4 personal fouls. As for the Suns, Janice Monicana on 4, and also Lavinia De Silva, Rennie Bush both on 3. So a lot to digest with 37.3 seconds to go. Referees, timeout situation as well. Suns 1 left, Lions 2 left. Len Busch will not advance the ball, so he will give his side a full 24 seconds to work with on the shot clock. And we'll see. Barking Abbey London Lions players must have been talking about defence in the huddle, no doubt, and thought they'd try and steal the possession off the end line. Referee's not falling for that. So it'll be Tiani Clark to bring the ball up. Barking with a little bit of a full court man. Carr, guarded by Breen, finds De Silva. Paige Robinson guarding her, Monicana. 9 now on the shot clock. Mark Clark wanting to travel. Carr fakes right, drives left. She's going to spin. Beckford-Norton to the floor. Carr's layup, turnaround jumper is good. And the Sevenoaks Suns take the lead. Kat Carr doing what she does best. Down the stretch, we'll see a replay here. Spinning right, not enough contact. And the ball in, out, back iron, and then drops. And Mark Clark will use one of those 2 remaining timeouts with 13.5 seconds to go. Suns now in the lead by 1. Now, if you're brave, stick your comment right now in the chat. Who is this ball going to for the Suns? Mark Clark in this huddle, where is he going to go? Is he going to go with Kennedy Leonard? Is he going to go with Cassie Breen? Is he going to go with Shanice Norton Beckford? Or is he going to go inside to one of the bigs? Where do you think this ball is going? And if you get your comments in quick enough, I'll read some of them out live on air. Reminder that if Lions miss, they have to foul twice to stop the clock. You can see Kat Carr fired up in the huddle. Suns definitely do not like losing. And one stop perhaps away. But this being a 1-point game, Lions will have 2 cracks at this, even if they miss. And 2 fouls, they have plenty of time to work with. Left on the game clock is 13.5 seconds. Out on the floor for the Suns, Carr, Clark, Bush, De Silva and Monacana playing on those 4 personal fouls. London Lions, the last out the huddle. It's Norton Beckford, Leonard, Breen, Robinson and Ume. Looks like Chantel Charles not healthy enough to finish down the stretch for the Lions. And it'll be Shanice Norton Beckford to inbound the ball. Kennedy Leonard pops. Norton Beckford coming off the double. They're going to run something for Breen. Ume loses the ball off her foot. And 5.5 seconds to go. Costly turnover by the Lions. And coach Len Busch will use his 1 remaining timeout to advance. Well, you'd assume advance the ball. We don't know. He's got the option. The one disadvantage, of course, is you will not be able to run the baseline. And with 5.3 seconds to go, Lions will have to foul twice. So the question is who Len Busch goes to, and we'll throw this situation out there. 2 fouls, the likelihood is 2 seconds probably is going to come off the clock. So do Sevenoaks miss the second free throw on purpose to get the clock running and avoid Mark Clark using the timeout to advance the ball? Something we've seen before. And it'd certainly be a consideration, I'd imagine, for the Suns in this timeout to get the clock running and force Lions to presumably go full court in 3 seconds off a defensive rebound. Of course, the half-court heave could then cause a loss. But it'll certainly be an interesting situation. And we'll see. Reminder, Kennedy Leonard on 4 personal fouls. So perhaps we will... No, Kennedy Leonard and Paige Robinson on those 4 fouls are both on the floor. Was thinking that maybe Mark Clark would pull her to avoid Leonard fouling out, because Lions are going to have to foul here. But the Suns will advance the ball. And it is not easy to inbound the ball in these situations. And of course, the second time of asking, the Lions will know what coach Len Busch has drawn up. But here we go, it'll be Tiani Clark on the inbound. Carr pops. Not fouled immediately by Breen, now fouled, and unsportsmanlike is the call. Cassie Breen, no attempt at the ball, wraps her arms around Kat Carr from behind, and that, in FIBA rules, is an unsportsmanlike foul. There is no 2 ways about it, and sadly, that is probably game done, unless Sevenoaks really struggle to convert free throws. It's Kat Carr on the line for 2. First, off to the left, but somehow drops. Carr yet to miss a free throw this season. Makes the second, and now really the Lions' hope is a 5-second violation or a steal and a half-court heave. They trail by 3, 2.7 seconds to go. So a catch and it's pretty much game over. Same play, Carr runs away from Breen, and this one is done. Sevenoaks Suns 75, the London Lions 72 in what has been a pulsating top of the table clash. It'll be the Suns that are the team left with the 0 in the loss column of the WBBL Championship. But credit to both sides for what has been a sensational contest. We will run some highlights, but stay with us and we'll get some post-game reaction from the Suns camp with you shortly. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park. Obviously there, just those of you joining us late, caught up on a little bit of the highlights, but now joined by Sevenoaks Suns coach Len Busch. Len, first of all, before we get onto the result, just what a game of basketball that was, and what an advert for the WBBL.
It was a great game. There's no question. We expected nothing less, and I was fully prepared for, them to hit a couple shots and to go the other way. But as it was, girls came through at the end, and as they so often do, they just know how to get the job done, and they're a pleasure to coach.
I thought you were going to say you're going to get ready for overtime there, because I think some of us were thinking about that way. But just talk about some of the keys. Obviously, a little bit of a slow start, fell behind a little bit in the first quarter, but really it was your perimeter play that got you going in the second quarter and really allowed you to get back in the game and take that lead into the locker room at half-time. Yeah, which we promptly gave away in the first few minutes of the third quarter. It's funny that we lost that lead by almost being too unselfish. We were making an extra pass when we had opportunities to score, and it's really hard to fault a team for doing that, because that's one of the things that makes us so good is everybody is ready to make that pass. And you talked about everyone ready. Obviously, Kat Carr came through down the stretch big, but really it was a team performance. Everyone contributed, and just talk about, again, that continuity you've got on the roster, the fact that everyone can contribute in so many different ways for this roster. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of depth, and I certainly value it. We've got a lot of people that can contribute in a lot of different ways, and nobody was perfect today, but you don't need to be perfect. You just gotta do your best. You gotta fight to the end, and then you gotta get a break or two and get the job done. And you say getting a break or two. What allowed you to come down the stretch and close this game out in the end in your mind? I think it's just composure. The players they've been there before, and even if we lost, nobody's gonna collapse in tears. It's a basketball game. They love playing. They know how to play the game, and and they got it done. And you talk about loving to play the game. From here on in, it's going to get busier for you. 15 games to play back here on Saturday against the Newcastle Eagles. Just talk about the mindset of this team and trying to build on this performance for what is really going to be a really difficult stretch of games over the next 5-6 weeks. Well, we're going to have to use the games to get better. So we'll play the games, we'll look at what we do, and then we'll try and get better for the next one. And the players, especially the Americans, they're saying this is like when I was a teenager playing AAU. You play 3 games a day and 10 games a week, and so they're we'll try and manage them, and hopefully they'll hold up and we'll make it through the stretch. Well, thank you very much, Len, and obviously join me, Len, and everyone else here from the Surrey Sports Park Saturday, 1 p.m. Sevenoaks Suns, Newcastle Eagles, here from the Surrey Sports Park. We will wrap up coverage, and thank you very much for joining us.